Hi guys, hi everyone. Hi Teach, I'm Mr. Chung. I'm Dao. I'm from your class at Tuesday at 1 p.m. So as for the assignment that I was given, I'm going to talk as I was giving. I'm going to talk about one of the books that I've been reading throughout the course, which is Lord of Lies by William Golding. So the version of the book I'm actually talking about is the book, which is the ebook version by Global Village, which actually based on the based on Golding's 1954 horror and post-apocalyptic novel of the and same name. So the the story actually focuses and depicts on a group of British boy whose plane was shot down and then they were stranded on an island and they disastrous, I guess, attempt at governing themselves. The theme includes the theme includes about group thinking, between group thinking and individuality. Let's see. Yes, rational and emotional reaction, and between morality and immoral actions and stuff like that. So to be honest, I don't really love a lot of books. I don't really love reading books that much, but for this book alone, I was actually kind of interested in it, so I did pick it up, and it was a very interesting book, I have to say. So I'll be on that later. So now let's focus on the main character that I'll be talking about. The main characters, which is also my favorite characters, has to be and probably has to be Ralph. So Ralph is the lead as and he has a leading role of the group of boys that are actually on the uninhabited and stranded island. He is the most realistic one, athletic and also charismatic, as opposed to Jack, the other one, which he is more on the more savage and embracing violence type of leader. And while most of the boys who would go on the beaches, playing around, bathing in the sun. Rob always started working on how to build a hut, how to start a campfire, so that the smoke would come up in the air, so that the other ship would see them, and because of that, I think because of that, he won the group of boys in attention, and he actually secured that too. But later on, the group of boys started to turn themselves into savagery as as Jack started to rise in power, and eventually, then they left Ralph and Piggy, which is the other character, other character. So a little bit about Pig. So Piggy looks just like me, but fatter, and he just looks fatter and a little bit too nerdy. Um, so they left Ralph and Piggy alone, all by themselves. At first, they don't. At first, Ralph didn't understand why they would do that, but yeah. Then he didn't really understand why they were given to this bloodlust savagery. But then, as he attended Jack's feast, hunting his first boar, and ultimately participate in the killing of Simon, it got real dark. and he did finally understand why they would give into that. And so Ed actually gave them into despair for the first time in his life, and that's not too great about it. That's not too great about it too. And and he actually, that was the moment where I also feel sad for him, because all he really just want to do is get out there and stranded, you know, uninhabited islands, to get back to the civilization which we are here right now. And one moment, the moment that that moment he really impressed me, which I unexpectedly didn't really know, don't want to see about him, is the last chapter really. So to get a little bit of recap on it, let's see. So after fighting with Jax and he fell down to the onto the, I don't know, the beach or something, he actually got up and then get out there, got into the jungle, and then thinking about why all this happened, the horror and the death of Simon and Piggy. And then he stumbled upon the Law of Flies, which is now just a skull. Feeling angry and disgusted at the same time, he knocked down the skull and took the stake as, you know, as an impaler or weapon to attack Jack. And that night, he went off to Jack's camp. We should say Jack's tribe, and he actually meted a twin that was guarding the entrance named Sam and Eric. They gave him food, but didn't really join him. And he was told that Jack was gonna send an entire tribe to find him. So to answer that, Ralph hides in the thicket and wait into the morning. So in the morning, he actually heard that Jack sent his entire. He was torturing Arset, which is the right word, torturing the twins to find out where Ralph was. And they eventually know, which is obviously he was in the thicket all along. And yes, in the thicket all along. Quite sad, really. And so the boys, which was led by Jack, tried to fight into the way into the thickets. The thicket, maybe including finding the way in, poking, and then maybe rolling a boulder into it, which is which is really quite big. And but Ralph fended them off. And but then he smelled the smoke, and then he realizes that Jack actually set the entire jungle on fire. And so he has no choice but to leave his hiding place and got down. And as he descending down into the base of the island, he was being chased by the boys, and he eventually got down into the beaches. Well, in exhaustion, he also passed out. And passed out. When he woke up, and then suddenly he lifted his face up and then see an officer, a naval officer, who came standing over him and said, basically he saw the fire that was going on really really hazardously, and he saw it, and so he put his like parked on it his ship, and then he arrived at the beach at the island to get them out. And when he saw, and then Jack's hunter, which is the boys who was after Ralph, they actually stopped at the feet too when they saw the officer. And then the officer was saying to Ralph, "Oh, you guys just playing games." That's it, right? No, but then he shocked when he heard the truth about how they got into the savagery and how they like forgot about the rules of civilization and turned to these monsters. That's really great, the monster. And as for Wow, he cried, sobbed, like just like sobbing like any other kids, other group, other boys too. And he actually now gained a new knowledge about himself, the devil within human himself, the violence. And it was also at that moment I had to question that if I if I would be like, wow, would I do the same as him? That really sets me on some thoughts. And will I be as a bad person myself? Will I turn into a monster if I was given at that scenario or situation? And he was it was really great. And as for the naval commander, he turned his back away so that the boys would gain their composure back. It was so after all of that, after what I've said, do I want to recommend this book? Highly 100% yes. It is a great book by all means, even though through my not experience not experience reading about the book and not fully understanding it, but it's a great book. And the book, I would say, it's mostly for adults because it's more on the realistic side, more on human violent nature and how they got to here. And fun fact though, because William Golding used to be a philosophy teacher, but then in World War II, he became a Marine and then a Marine and lieutenant in a British destroyer boat. And he actually got pretty sad how human turned to be and all of that, especially in the Cold War when where the US and the the Soviet Union would battle each other with nuclear war, with nuclear powers and stuff and technological science stuff. Got down, and it is a really good book, I have to say. Super nice, super rough, realistic, and it has some really nice and old word like China, like board. There's some nice word, and it is kind of an old book, but if you really like spend some time with it, then you would kind of understand what would be. And it's a nice book. All in all, I very much like this book. I enjoy it that much. And while most of the other books, like old books, like in the like William's Golding time, the British boy would seem to be angelical and also angelical. They wouldn't prefer like violate any rules. But in this case, he turns that around and then make them these heavenly British boys into monsters, true monsters, savagery, killing, hunting, murdering, and even it's a bit disturbing. Also, there's butchering a pig, and then yes, it's quite bad. So I hope you all thank you for listening to my little bit of book review. And if you guys really like the you want to read this book online, you can just search like The Lord of Flies in the PDF or William Golden, and that's probably much for what it is. You can buy the whole book. There is also a book for translation in Vietnam now, So thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you later.